name's Fritz, and this is Mari. And we've done one book together. We've been married for 19 years, and just not a month after we were married, we kind of left New Mexico and departed for the Bahamas and started building a home down there, where we spend our winters. We spent 4 years building that house, and afterwards wrote a kind of a Venus and Mars rendition of Paradise.
And then, Fritz, you, prior to that, all of this, you went on an adventure for a couple of days.
As Mari says, it's all the fun I had before we got married.
Yeah.
And it was from 1981 to 1991. I was out on this boat for 10 years, sailing around the world, and just having a look-see and see how the rest of the world lived. So I wasn't getting all the stories secondhand, basically. And so the book that evolved out of that is 10 Years Behind the Mast. And that's the story of those 10 years sailing. It's not a really how-to sail book. This is my adventure, and this is what happened. And if you kind of read between the lines, there's a lot to learn about how to go about this, how to go about sailing around the world.
Well, and the book really, if I can interject, grew out of annual letters that you wrote home to friends and family every year when he was gone during those 10 years.
When we first put the boat in the exhibit here at the museum, we published those 10 letters and called it Letters Home. And that's all it was. It's dear family and friends. And about the end of every year around Christmas time, I'd sit down and I would write out about a 6 or 7 page typed letter and send out 50 copies to friends and family. And 10 Years Behind the Mast is based on those 10 letters home. But then as more and more people read letters home, they wanted to know a little bit more about the story. So I rewrote the whole thing as a travel memoir rather than just letters. And
can you say a little bit about where this boat is and how it got to be here? Also, tell us a little bit about the history of this ship too.
This boat was built in 1936 in Maldon, England, and I'm the 5th owner of the boat. The original owner of the boat named it Thelma, and the 3rd owner of the boat changed the name of the boat to Theodora R, who was co-ruler of Rome with King Justinian in 400 A.D. I found the boat in Fort Lauderdale, kind of fell in love with her, but it took 6 months for me to negotiate the purchase, and so I spent 6 months calling it Theodora R. And so when it finally became my boat, I couldn't have changed the name.
Right.
So I've kept the name Theodora R. And then after the 10 years sailing, which ended near Mobile, Alabama, I tried to sell the boat for a couple of years and had no takers, and Carla and Ross here at the museum said, "Hey, why don't you put it in the museum? We'll make an nautical exhibit out of it." And my first reaction was, "Are you kidding? This is a great boat. It's got a lot of miles left in her," and da-da-da, until she sank at her mooring the next year, and it cost a lot of money to keep it down there, and things were starting to wear on me, and the idea of putting it in a museum started gel, and I go, yeah, let's put it in the museum. So we trucked it up here and dropped it in place and built this shed around it and built the pier out, and now, it's really quite it catches people's eye. I mean, if this boat was sitting in the Mystic Seaport, it'd be just another wooden boat in the water. But here, people really notice it.
Yeah, well, that's great. That's great.
So it's turned out, it's a great dream exhibit for especially kids in New Mexico to come through here and go, wow, look at this.
Yeah, well, that's great. Well, thank you for taking the time to tell us about your books and to introduce us to your boat here at the Tinkertown Museum.
Yeah,
you're so welcome.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks so much.